My name is Marty Mays. I'm Director of Planning and DPW for the City of Orange. We're here tonight to talk about the skate park and what it's going to entail. I was hoping a little bit more people come because I've gotten a lot of issues brought to my attention about the skate park, preferably by the people that live adjacent to it or in that surrounding block. And I wanted them to come tonight so they could hear and be assured that we're doing everything we can to make sure that their quality of life is not damaged in any way. So tonight is a good opportunity for everybody to ask all your questions. No question is a dumb question. You see these plans and stuff like this, believe me, they know, the engineers know nobody asks more questions than I do if I don't understand it. So I want y'all to do that same thing tonight. All right, just very informal. I'm going to turn the program over to some of the engineers and designer, and we have also the camera person that's going to be here and talk about how we're going to have cameras. That was another big item that we recognized, that we really didn't want to have this skate park up and running without having a complete camera system. And we need to do that to all our parks, and slowly we've been doing that. And also, I don't want to steal his thunder, but the feed will go right to the police department. So they'll be able to see what's happening there in real time. And I want to tell everybody that today I was over at the skate park when I was handing out some of the flyers trying to get people to come. There's already kids in there, and I can't keep them out of there. So we got to try to figure something out. They jump in the gate and everything. And there's not kids that are over there doing anything malicious. I've seen most of them bring their skateboards, and I went over there today for about an hour, and they just talked to me about how happy they are to finally have something like this in Orange, and they never thought it would be. It was real positive, but still, all the kids are not that good. Some of them want to mess around. A sore point is already somebody spray painted a big graffiti thing on one of the ramps, which is a little bit depressing, but I said we'll have the camera shortly, so next time that happens, we'll be able to run it back and see exactly who did it. So let me just introduce a couple of people. First, I don't know Warren, I don't know his last name, but Warren is the Smith. Stand up, and I guess,
how you guys doing?
He's moving his skateboard shop from the old Chronicle building where the library was to here. So we kind of switched the meeting because the mayor wanted to have the meeting here and give him a little bit more exposure. And I want to say he was also critical in the development of this, along with the kids that frequented his store. So they all gave their input on what they wanted to see, more so than me, because I don't know anything about skate parks and skateboarding. But so what you see tonight is a result of input from him as well as a lot of the younger kids. So I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to let everybody come up and do their thing. Just don't bore these people. Try to talk in layman's terms if you can. And you guys can just come 1, 2, 3, 4, all introduce yourself and talk about your role in the project.
Yes.
All right. Introduce yourself.
Good evening. My name is Joe Raftery. I'm with Mazer Consulting. We've been helping out the City of Orange Township on a number of projects in town, mostly related to parks and recreation. This is one of our engineers, Steve Wheeler. We have Doug from Spawn Ranch, who is the contractor building the skate park and specializes in the design of the features related to the skate park. I'm more of a civil engineer type guy. I do roads and stuff. And is it Doug? Oh.
I'm Derek.
Derek, there was another Derek. Derek is our IT security pro that's helping us out. Just to follow up on what Marty was saying, last spring we at Warren's other shop, we had a big community forum, and we had I believe we had those surveys given out to the community, so that this wasn't just someone coming in and saying, here's your skate park. Spawn Ranch went through and asked, what were you looking for in the skate park for the local skaters, what was missing, and through that their team has developed a plan that we feel, and there's some renderings up by the front, that we hope bring the joy and love of skateboarding to this community. So far, phase 1 is nearing completion. where that was more of the street transition area. And phase 2 is going to complete the full park, as we have shown here, which would be involving a bowl and some parking, landscaping, fencing improvements, water fountains, shade structures, picnic tables, benches, basically to give this park a boost in usability. For a long time, it's just been a grassy knoll. So we're just trying to give the community what they're looking for and assisting. And part of that is listening to you guys tonight. Any concerns, suggestions, I'm all ears. So.
And what other towns have even built skate parks similar to this?
That I would defer to Doug, our Spawn Ranch skate park expert.
Excuse me. We're based out of Los Angeles and we've built parks all over the country. We have a lot of parks in New Jersey. We have Elizabeth, Woodbridge, Bayonne, all over the state. We have parks. We've been building parks in New Jersey for years.
And for these parks, what has the customary setback been for the property line of current residents? Like, is there usually some type of setback? My name is Shireen Bozeman Reeves. I live at 262 Snyder Street. And the rear of my property is directly adjacent to the big bowl.
Okay.
Okay. So the thing that concerns me most is that we've lived there for almost 50 years. So we've been very familiar with Colgate Park, how it came to be, all of that. So now with this aspect of the skate park, we really understand there's not a lot of recreational activities for kids in the area. But the biggest problem that we have now is that it has never been organized enough in terms of the activities that are available to the children to ensure their safety as well as our safety as residents, and then to ensure our quiet enjoyment and not to put us at risk for a lot of other nonsense. So what I'm really trying to understand is, where else do these parks exist? And what else do people do to ensure that it is a beneficial addition to the neighborhood? So more than like how high can you jump and all that other kind of stuff.
Right. I'm not familiar with the actual setback requirements in every city. So I do know that parks we've put in close to houses, and we've also put in parks that are in more open areas. So it just all depends on what's available in the city. So there's definitely, you'll see activity there being on the back of your property. I don't know, each town is different, so.
Can I answer that question? How you doing? I actually, I have another store in Sayreville. I have one in Eastern Pennsylvania. There's skate parks around all those stores. I actually own a house in Sayreville. The skate park is directly behind my house. We don't have any issues there. I don't physically live there. I have tenants that live there, but I don't have any issues. Graffiti, they spray every skate park. Is kind of like just part of the design. The kids do it. It doesn't take away from the park. You can still skate. Primarily, I think it's just to help the community. I know a lot of kids, now, especially because of the community we in, they don't have much to save the kids' life. They're not gang banging, they're not selling drugs. They find other things to do. Skateboard, that's primarily the only reason why I'm still in Orange, to be honest with you. My other stores, I make like $20,000 a month here. I'm probably only doing half of that because the neighborhood can't afford they can't afford the boards and things like that, but I'm here for that reason. You know what I mean? Like, it's kids every day that I know that they learning how to skateboard, they want to come here and buy bikes. It's even to the point where I started buying used bikes, selling them for half the price. Like, that bike on the wall is $350. Most of the bikes I sell in my store is $100, it's $75 because the kids can't really afford to buy a new bike, but they'll take a used bike and they're in the skate parks riding the bike versus on the corner selling drugs gangbang. So for me, I feel like that's the purpose of bringing a skate park, something new to the neighborhood, versus just, you know, a basketball court or something else. It's like, it's more recreation, it's keeping our kids out of trouble.
I really understand that part too. I mean, Colgate Park, we installed a swimming pool. So we live in the summertime, calling about the kids in the pool after hours. We have a basketball court where a lot of kids, my son is 6'2" and 14. I don't send him to Colgate Park to play basketball because of all the other nonsense that's going in the park. So I'm trying to figure out, with kids with equipment like skateboards and helmets and all these other things that you bring with you, what is going to be done for their safety? Because it's not the kids I'm talking about, it's the bad actors. So what are we going to do about these bad actors?
That I understand. I feel like that's kind of like a public safety question, because to be honest with you, that really has nothing to do with, no disrespect to you, I don't want you to take this like me being rude, but that really has nothing to do with, I don't think, the building of it, because
Let me say, Marty, were you gonna respond to that? Because I think you're asking the question for the public safety. Are you getting,
Well,
on that?
Yeah, he's our camera person.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things we said was that we didn't want to have this without a full camera system tied into the police department. You're absolutely right about Colgate Park. We all know what Colgate Park is. We just want Colgate Park to be better with this skate park.
So is
And
it-
that's why we're gonna have, I'm gonna let him come up, just be
Yeah,
brief.
yeah.
I'll
I'll
talk
speak
about
to the
what
public
we're gonna
safety
do,
part.
what we're gonna do with the police.
Sure.
And
Go
police.
Sure.
Go ahead. Let him go since that's the.
Hi, my name is Derek Law. I build out public safety camera systems for municipalities, housing authorities. And I can tell you when the camera system is installed, and it's installed properly, and it's connected into the police department, I've seen drastic reductions, 50, 60, 70% of the activity that takes place where those camera systems go. So the camera system that's being designed right now, it's going to be put in the park where it can cover the entire skate park with the new technology that is 180-degree spectrum with high resolution cameras that allows the police department to go into the subject and literally see who's doing what. And then they're able to capture the information. One of the other things with the infrastructure that we'll put in place will also allow us to have some Wi-Fi in that area. So the way that will work is when the police are driving through and they need to look at the cameras, they don't necessarily have to come into the park to look at the cameras. They'll have the ability right from their patrol cars to have a monitor and specifically be looking and controlling the cameras. So the whole goal is to link it with public safety along with the park.
Now that you're talking about the cameras, and you're saying like in the police department today, so are they gonna have a monitor in the police department where they can look real time?
Correct.
Because right now, like in the police department, they can go to certain areas and they can see what's going on in that area. So you're gonna give them that accessibility?
Absolutely,
So that
absolutely.
they can just go, zoom in on the park any time of night, any time of day, and see
Absolutely.
what's happening.
Absolutely. So the camera, when we looked at the design, because the police department is so close to where the skate park is, the connection from the skate park to the police department will be live, real time, 24 hours. And it'll be 24 hours recording.
And what other, I don't know, what time, because I know with College Park, we went from a certain time that it closes totally. So is the skate park gonna have the ability to close?
That's a good question. We took that into account. We don't want it to be a hangout. So it's not gonna have any lighting for nighttime or anything like that. We don't envision it. We wanna discourage people being in there when it's dark.
What's gonna hinder them from going and sitting in there in the dark?
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be like in the other park. This park is gonna be locked up. It's only gonna have 2 entrances.
Also, it's gonna be gated.
It's gotta be gated. yeah.
Okay, all right.
And that's another thing we took into account.
It's
It's a private park now.
Is it gated now?
It's gated now, but the skate park is gonna be locked.
No, I mean, it's gonna be a
I have
gated
a lot of
community park.
information because I'm involved in the community. I'm a local. I skate for a few companies that are worldwide. I skate for a local shop in Newark. My name's David. But the whole aspect with the community of skateboarding, because when I lived in New Brunswick, like 2.5 years ago, they created a skate park. over in that area, central New Jersey, there's a lot of, you know, heroin activity, meth activity. These kind of people show up and they do their drugs over there, but within the skate community, what people don't understand is we look after ourselves. So I've been in that instance, that same scenario where the guy wanted to shoot up his meth and the whole community as itself kicked the guy out or threatened. I mean, like, you guys understand what I'm saying. I don't have to continue on this aspect. But we look after ourselves, and within the community as itself, I'm from Orange. I was born here, but I grew up in South Florida and I've moved around. But I've been skateboarding for 16 years. I've worked at skate parks. I've helped, you know, organize with people and committees. West Orange Skate Park 10 years ago, I organized the signatures for that to happen. So I appreciate you guys creating the park and for us to, you know, come over here and interact and meet other people. But for also the little kids in the area, they show up and we are gladly to have them on boards and teach them how to skate, because we understand that as, you know, you're my elders, you guys think of it as, oh, you might break your neck or something, but like in all actuality, when you really understand how to operate and maneuver on a skateboard and someone teaches you correctly and how to fall correctly, it's just like fighting. Someone can punch you and break a bone, you can break a bone. It's aspects
Let's move
that
on.
But-
Let me go, hold on, let me go to one, hold on, Dom. I
let
wanna
me
go to one point I wanna go to, because you said it's gonna be a private park.
Yeah.
This discussion about private parks is something that the city is looking at and something that I'm looking at.
The thing is, I would.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Sorry.
What I'm thinking about is we need to have more security in our parks. And one of the ways that we can do that is to have the park locked at night. I worked in a lot of different municipalities. In Irvington, they lock their parks at night. We don't lock our parks at night. And that's a lot of the reasons why we have a lot of issues that occur at night. I'm not saying locking it is the exact remedy, because there's still always ways to get around it. So what you're seeing in the last 6 years is an upgrade in all the parks in the city. Starting from Central Playground to the other parks, we're upgrading all our parks, spending millions of dollars, and we need to do a better job securing them.
Okay.
And if that means locking it up at night, I'm not opposed to it.
I'm not
No,
opposed
but-
to it as well. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. I just want to talk about social. Like I know, like a lot of times parks are locked because you have homelessness and you got maybe drug users. But I'm saying maybe you should create maybe some social outreach people to help them. Maybe like in Rome, the Pope, like there was homeless people that was in Rome. The Pope actually created watch areas during the time when kids are not supposed to be in the park in the first place.
We don't have a lot of homeless people in the parks.
Yeah,
but the problem that we have in the parks mainly is that after hours, the younger kids and teenagers in the park. We don't have a lot of homeless
Well,
in the park.
maybe then you should have like a safety officer there that will monitor the park.
So what I think I hear, I think I hear a combination is, so now we have the technology, I'm Councilwoman Williams. So
I'm
this-
sorry, I didn't introduce
That's
any of the
okay.
Councilwoman Eason. I know the mayor would get on me if I didn't. Councilwoman Williams, Keith Pressey from Recreation, Wendy from Recreation. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce the city people. I
Alright, so,
apologize.
and Shereen Bozeman, a longtime athlete from the city of Orange. So, but what I hear you saying that it came from a different couple of places. I just heard that there's a technology piece. I just heard that there's a self-policing piece. And we know that we have the city, our police will be, you know, and that's most important, that the physical presence of seeing our police walk through the park. So, and I think to your point, what you just gave an example, is self-policing, and to make sure that we're not just talking about that we're doing all of those components. Because the minute you see, I mean, cameras are one thing, but there's something about seeing a physical presence
right.
of body.
The police, they patrol actively. I've already noticed because I'm like, here's the thing. I know it's not officially open, but it's the saying, if you build it, they will come. From all over the state, as soon as one skateboarder on social media posts it, you're gonna get people coming in because we're eager to get new parks because we don't have it here. The thing is, the police notice that we come here even though it's not open. I've noticed yesterday one patrolman for an hour and a half to 2 hours sitting around watching us, seeing if anyone was drinking, smoking, what's going on, cleaning. They, even though that there isn't already an active patrolman, they're already taking the duty to do that. And I've noticed it.
Now, what I think, I'm just looking at your face, we just gotta get you to believe that, Sheree, wouldn't you?
No, I just, the thing is, when I feel like we have weathered Orange through all the different phases of what Orange is going through, you know? And so just when, because I just came back, right? Like in December, just when I came back and figured out, okay, let's start getting things together, we're getting the addition of the skate park. And for me, the biggest problem is that I just don't see how it could be beneficial to the area, because I don't think there's enough.
That's the answer right there. There's many kids in this community that ride skateboards that come to the skate shop and skateboard, and they don't have a place to congregate and skateboard at home. That's what's beneficial. There's many kids who have skateboards, and they go around and they have nowhere to go to
Okay.
skate, and we get kicked out by the police constantly, getting tickets, and their parents get harassed. And just the
Like,
fact
on
that
top
there's a
of that,
skate
everybody
park.
not a basketball or football
Yeah,
player.
there's a million
There's
kids
other
that don't
sports that
feel
need-
comfortable playing football or basketball in their outlet, because what I've learned in the 16 years of skateboarding, a Hispanic kid, an Asian guy, a Caucasian person, it doesn't matter where you're from. They could be rich, poor, homeless. We all don't
We all
discriminate.
family
We
in
get
the
together
skateboard.
and we watch out as a community together, and we all understand.
What I
Let
will
me
tell you,
just say this. And I agree with everything you said, and I think the skate park was a great idea. Our kids don't have any place to go. But I don't think that the issue right here is the skate park itself.
It's not.
It's the city figuring out how we are gonna make the residents comfortable with it being there and making sure that they're safe and secure.
I've no.
That's the
sorry.
piece that we need to work out with the city and the recreation. The skate park is a given. We want the kids to utilize
It's
it.
coming next.
But also, we have residents that live there, that we wanna make sure that we protect them and their interests.
Here's the funny thing that you say this. Just 45 minutes ago, I came from the Crown Fried Chicken. My buddy and I, we went around the corner from Orchid Park that's on the opposite side of the skate park. There was an old lady, she came out of her house and she was like, you know what happens in that park? And like, yes, I understand, ma'am. If there's no lights, no skateboarders are gonna be there to hop over the fence and, you know, disobey the law. Because we understand, the whole community of skateboarders, we go to ghetto places to go skate where it's unsanctioned for us on purpose, because we know that the law will not bother us. Oh, I'm sorry.
You just insulted them. Don't say get over.
You know what I think?
No, but I apologize.
You just insulted them.
I apologize.
Hold on.
I apologize for that. But I'm just saying, as how we refer to, because we don't skateboard in suburban
But
areas.
all we're saying, you are also a skateboarder.
The lady
You heard
raised.
her, you all have to be a part of the community.
No, but I didn't.
And that, even though you're skating, the guys and the young people have to be a part also of the security and make sure
Yes.
that everybody's out there having a good time. There's no arguments. There's nobody hanging around.
Yes.
There's no, so you can be part of the security yourself.
I'm actively already enforcing it. I'm a local here, so when I go to the park, I already make sure that there's no one throwing rocks, keeping garbage around. I'm already on top because I like what the city has done. But I noticed the neighboring houses around the park, they watch us skate. They come out to the park and they bring their kids and they let us know. Like,
These are neighboring houses, and they have some concerns. So, okay, we got you.
I just want to say again, your concerns are absolutely valid. Nobody can take that away from you. You can leave here tonight and still be mad and upset. I won't have any.
I'm not
Oh, wait a
disagreeing with them
minute.
either.
I won't have anything against you because what Tennessee said is right. You're a homeowner. We want to make your experience as best as we can. I think the good thing is, and really to me it's the only thing, is that you're dealing with people that are trying to take what you're saying into account. It's not like you sitting here tonight and we say, oh, we're not going to do this. It hasn't been determined. This plan is not final. So, for example, and the mayor is my boss. I went over there with him, just me and him. He said, look at the houses there. He said, we need a 15-foot fence. I said, 15 foot? We don't have that anywhere. You know, he said, we need shading, we need this. We had already, as you can see, along the fence line, there's a lot of shrubbery right here. Those are trees, the round thing. So we already have been, they're arborvitaes.
Okay, but that's great. But
Right.
then this is my other concern
Go ahead.
with the park. Where's the bathroom for these kids and everything while they're skating and
That's
everything?
what
Like,
this-
where is
I
the
agree
Hold
with
on,
her.
hold on.
I've
Let's
heard
do-
that too. because
let's
I
do-
need to use the
let's do this. Let's do-
I know where it is.
I don't want to go in
Let's
public.
take
I
10.
wanna-
Let's take 10 minutes. So I'm glad we having this is a good discussion. Take 10 minutes and go through the plan so everybody can understand where everything is, what's going to be there, where's going to be. Come on, who wants to go through? Can you go through the plan in detail? Go.
So, going through the plan, over here is what's been built so far in the gray. These are the basketball courts. This is the existing top playground. So we have the two main entrances on this side. This is North Day Street. And then we have another one on this side on Center Street. So the ideal situation is that we were going to replace that silver fence that's there, that construction fence more or less. We were either playing with the idea of putting in a new PVC fence, possibly, if, as the mayor wants, to put in a much larger fence to give that feeling of residential. Okay.
I can see from here. I can
Right.
read it.
So again, this is part of the feedback. You want to put something in there. Some people like landscaping, some people want to have fence with slats, which you did on College Park. And whatever you guys want, we're more than willing to accommodate by putting in the contract. So the goal is to have some sort of ability that you guys are feeling comfortable and not staring out at the skate park. So the mayor said having possibly.
When you say you guys, you mean the homeowners?
Yeah, the
I'm just-
community, sorry. Yes, the community, that's why we have these forums. So here we could do something like a large PVC fence that has the slats in them that are privacy slats. You could do, and then in front of those, you would have offsetting trees that would eventually grow and they come in pretty high. And then over here, there's already a retaining wall. And over here, we would put something like arborvitae's or something along those lines, because we already are up high. And there is an existing fence that's up over here. If there are, you know, if the homeowners are adamant about keeping the fence as it is, or replace that at times, or going through that, there is big open slats. So we thought maybe something, if you've been over by College Park, the new fence over there, it has small 1-inch
That's high and all.
high and all the street park.
That's another part.
So, but I don't want to interrupt you,
Go ahead.
but remember what happened at Rose Playground when we put the fence in? Is this fence is gonna be one that they can't rip?
It's gonna be if the new fences that the city is installing now is what he just mentioned.
It's like
You
1
remember
inch.
when we was young, you could climb a fence, you was able to put your foot in the hook. Now the new fences have little small 1 inch. You can't put your foot, you can't climb it.
But it's still
But
chain
college-
link.
but
You
in
It
can-
doesn't have to be chain link. We haven't decided on what it could be.
They
We're
just
talking
ripped the
about the
fence
different.
apart.
We just know.
We can't do that here, right?
It says chain link.
So
Yeah, but that's listen. This plan again. This plan is in flux. So this is in flux. This is not final yet. That's why I said we
So
can.
at High Alton Street Park or College Park, if you go along where the residential house is, you'll see that there's privacy slats there. So if you take a look at that and you walk around that park and you like the way that looks, that's something we can do here. There's also been options about having other features to, again, with the landscaping. And so the other options, the other ideal situation here is we have this path that's gonna bring in, the main foot traffic is gonna come in through the existing pathways. We're not creating a new footpath.
There'll be no entrance way from here
This is
on
going to
North
be
Center.
continued reaching that.
There's only one way in. It'll be the main entrance, or you walk through the park.
So then over here, there's no shade structure. So shade structure is open air, so rain comes in, so you don't have any issues with when it's raining. People can just huddle underneath it and wait for the rain out. The kids are probably going to scatter. No one
sorry.
wants to sit in the rain for 4 hours.
I want to cut you off because I want to make this point, and this is a real point. In the park now, we have that shaded area with the metal roof there. It's just a place for the kids to smoke. So every shade structure we do now is we make it so you can get the shade and we take it down in the winter. Even the tables and the chairs that we want to have, we're going to take away. So there's going to be no place for people to come and hang out.
But also, all our parks are non-smoking, so if somebody smokes, it means that we're not enforcing with the laws on the books. All our parks are unspoken. So we have to also not only do it, we have to enforce what we say.
And there was gonna be an additional shade structure with some benches and parks over here, so that this area is kind of where kids learn how to skate, so parents can be here and kind of look after the kids. Over here is kind of if the kids want to see the advanced skaters at the bowl, and kind of get a view of what they could become, what they can do. That's another vantage point. There's gonna be a water fountain installed.
I have one question. How deep is the bowl going to be?
That is still between 4 and 6 feet deep.
Because this is the one thing that skate parks in New Jersey fail to realize. There are people that are in this state that are actual like competitors in the world, and none of us, I myself, don't skate 4 to 6 feet with pools. Every other state in this country, everyone makes at least 6 to 8 feet. I know there's standard regulation codes in there.
Insurance.
Yeah, I understand. That's why I wanted to ask if there's any way to change the height. Because that's just, it's a preference that all the local skaters that are advanced, like we all talk about. So
We can
I
talk
just
about
wanted to
that
see.
later. I want to
Okay,
let these
I just-
people get a chance to speak. The bathroom is, right now, the only bathroom is the back existing one.
And when will that be open? Because that's another thing that we're concerned about is because, unless things are changing, I know that most skateboarders are there. I have a 23-year-old, we lived in Virginia Beach.
These days coming
And
up,
he
it's
was,
changing.
things are changing. I'm saying things are changing. But I also know where there's no bathroom, people will make one. So once you have these shrubberies there, it's a pretty good cover for people to be going, using the bathroom and things, all along that fence. And that's where I live.
This is what's going on to
So that's my concern. I
Okay.
think that this park is a great idea, but I think the city has to really support it with personnel, with public safety, because you're gonna need somebody there to tell kids, little kids, you can't go to this bowl with your skateboard, because some parents in our neighborhood will send their kids unsupervised. Do you see what I'm saying? And you'll have a 5-year-old attempting to go down bowl.
Well, that's where we come in, because we're not gonna, I've worked in skate park for 10 years, I'm not gonna let a 5-year-old go into that
But do you
bowl.
see what I'm saying?
I watch out
Those
for
are
these
my
kids.
concerns. And I mean, I'm really not trying to poo-poo this project because I've worked in nonprofit organizations. I worked at the Y when I was a teenager, so I really
agree with what
understand
you're
how
saying.
important all of this is. But I don't think it should be something that's done haphazard because it looks nice.
Excellent point. Your point is well taken. You opened my mind up to think about some things. Maybe anybody else can. Thank you. Okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. All right, so everybody pretty much understands the plan. Okay,
What time is that? That's what we just come
this is the plan for the skate park right here. You live where you live?
Really? I live right there. You live in the park?
Where you live? What's your address?
121.
Oh,
You're
so
up there?
you right next, are you the one next door? too?
Yeah.
So you gonna have to,
Yeah. I want to have a parking lot.
yeah, nice.
Really?
Hold on.
Right.
Y'all want to run through the plan with her real quick so she can
Well, I
understand?
really,
Well, go ahead. What's your question?
I'm mad at worrying myself. I'm super mad because you know what? Oh, over there, they try to do so many stuff over there. And the best thing you can think of is a skating rink to put there, right in my ears. How is that possible? Nobody is not living there. I'm living right there.
What's your concern, miss?
It's not supposed to be there. You could put something else there. No, I see the guys them skate the fence during the evening and during the night when everybody else is sleeping. I heard them out there going on and on and on. That's not fair. That's not fair.
So how late was that?
12-1.
In the morning?
Yes, they'll be there all the time because it's there for them to. And even as soon as the police disappear, they come back.
And you heard that, what, over the last week or two? Okay.
So first night Sunday.
My camera's up and activated?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have
very concerned about the park. I don't know, what is gonna happen because I always talk to you about the security,
Yes.
how it's gonna be. We can't tell nobody to come in or to come out. But then I'm wondering, how is it gonna be safe for us? Because you said you had a plan to show us, about it. So with that little fence that divides us from the park, and they're gonna put a high fencing, so you could just tell me or tell us what
One of the things,
safety measures.
I'm sorry, I just want to say one quick thing.
Yeah.
It's so good that we have this meeting, that I can come out and hear this, and I can look at you and see how upset you are. The thing is
I
that,
even call the police and they come and say, Carol, Joe, what can we do? I said, what can you do? You can do something. Stop them from doing it.
I'm gonna let the police speak next, but what you missed is that the rest of you only did one part of the park. The only part of the park that's done is this middle section right here. And this plan itself is not final. So already today, since we had this meeting, we heard a lot of other things that we need to take into account, and we need to take whatever you have to say into account too. So
My thing is this, I'm the one that lives in there.
I agree.
When they come in with their truck and their dumper, they knock the ground, the floor is split in the house.
Hold on, say that one. I didn't miss that.
The construction was
Oh,
really
the construction,
rough on that.
okay.
Yeah.
It split the floor on the ground. I call the police and I say, look at this. You're gonna tell me eventually the house is gonna break apart because they come with all.
Oh, I think I might have talked to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you talk to me.
Yeah,
I raised hell. You know that.
Yeah, I remember.
And they're not doing nothing about it. Now they build a skating rink. You forgot when my daughter was there in the house, somebody broke through my window. This is more trouble.
I don't know if it's gonna be more trouble.
It is.
I don't see that.
You want to change living arrangement. You come and live in there and I'll live in your house.
We talked about a couple of things that we're gonna do to try to.
So what I hear you concerned is that you, in your perception, that there's something coming there, and you already have, you can rely right on that, what's going on in Colgate. So you're concerned about something else coming there and not being monitored, and when you're calling, that you're not getting a response. So I asked, let me get, and let's hold our public safety accountable, and let's listen to what they have to say. And also, when you weren't here, those were other residents, that was their response to. What about the public safety portion? There's cameras there, the skateboarder said we police our own, but what about our public safety?
That's right.
Well, my name is Sergeant Jacob from the Orange Police Department. I hear the concerns. As far as the police department is concerned, skateboarding and things of that nature, dog parks and everything have been on the increase. I think we're one of the later municipalities coming in on that. But as far as the police is concerned, we're happy that we have a skate park because kids can, instead of being on the street and the sidewalks, they can use the park to facilitate their energy. It seems like Orange doesn't have enough things for the kids to get actively involved in. Excuse me one second. They don't have enough things to get involved in. So instead of getting into the bad things, they could be at the park skating. A lot of other towns, they set up rules. Like anywhere else, you go to Central Playground, there's rules that they gotta abide by. And the police department, with the mayor and the business administrator and the council, they've been hiring more officers. We're literally got about 20 guys going into the academy. We're hiring more. The video surveillance that we're gonna have, we're gonna monitor these parks. We already monitor Colgate Park heavily during this time to the end of.
You can't do that.
Listen, but the reality is we can't be there 24 hours. We can't be there all the time. But video surveillance will allow us to be there more often. And they're going to implement rules where safety is a priority, helmets for the little kids, so forth and so on. I mean, there's so many things that we do now, even with the rodeo, the bike rodeo for the little kids. The unions put together money to buy them helmets. And so that aspect of it is going to be definitely looked upon by the police department. They're going to be hiring more guys, the mayor along with the council and the VA. They're always hiring more people. So every time you have something new, there's always people that are against it. But as far as we're concerned, the police department is going to back the park. I think it's a good avenue for the kids to let their energy out. And I mean, the structural aspect of it that you're talking about, yeah, when construction is being done, there's going to be heavy machinery and stuff in the way, you know, and that's common. That's gonna be something that it's gonna have to happen for that establishment to be built. But they're gonna place rules. There's gonna be obviously, I don't know, if, you know, there's gonna be a time when nobody's gonna be allowed in there. I'm sure it's gonna be well lit. There's all kinds of things. They can do motion activated lights. We have units that go by all the time in the summer. The pool's open and fences up, and we run kids out of there all the time.
What level of offense is it if you catch someone in the park when they're not supposed to be there? Like, is it just trespassing? Like, what is it? Because kids don't seem to mind that offense. Because they're always where they're not supposed to be. Because I live right around the corner. From my 3rd floor, I got a whole aerial view of what's happening in Colgate Park. So I see kids there. If I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning closing my blind, there's people in that park. So I'm saying, what are the deterrents to keep these kids out other than cameras? Because that's after the
I mean, you also got to understand, these are young kids in the community. So our thing isn't to grab them and charge them. That's not, you know, we most of the time grab them, we bring them home to the family, we release them to the family, document it, okay? And it's multiple offenses, yeah, maybe eventually at some point they'll be issued a city ordinance. They got to come before the judge, and eventually it might lead to charges. If it's a habitual offense, then it might lead to charges. But our first thing as a police department,
we're talking about skateboarding, we talk about basketball, we talk about swimming, but then there's also an element that's pretty dark going on in that park.
Well, I'm sure part of the construction, I'm sure
there's people selling drugs, there's people who have guns, there's all of that going on.
Excuse me, can I interject 1 second? Because she's talking about giving young teenagers, adolescents, criminal charges. That's what prevents them from getting jobs like yours.
Wait,
now,
hold on.
Now, that's why I got following. Now, the second thing, if you want to talk about, excuse me,
hold on. Not everybody can talk.
Imagine talking about, why don't you create more summer jobs? Because I have a niece that she said she was like 16 or 17, and she tried to go and apply for a job, but she couldn't get the job because she was not 18 years old.
Okay.
Now, you need to make some jobs for people that are 18 and under so they can get some money.
Listen,
that's what I was.
Listen. Every skate park. This is not the first city to do a skate park.
I'm not talking about skate park. I want to say one thing before it all slip and go.
Yeah.
You see, when you guys come there with the light, I'm on the 1st floor.
Okay.
So you see all that light up my room, and it doesn't matter what I put there. The whole when you come, you can just like dim the light or whatever. Right during the night, it will be there. Yeah, that's good. But I mean, I gotta go to work.
So what's challenges of like
No, like, we're not gonna have like.
She's talking about police.
Police, and as soon as all the lights shine right in my bedroom.
3 weeks ago,
I mean,
there was somebody who opened
it
their
light up the
front
kitchen,
door.
it light up everywhere.
They were in the
I know that things happen there.
from my yard. So when you're supporting
Can I say something? Can I share something? Please. So with technology and video surveillance, there's other things that can be done that possibly help with this. So with video surveillance, you get the video stream, but there's also audio. So what can happen is in strategic places where we have the video surveillance cameras, we can put audio speakers there. So when the cops see motion on the camera occur, what they can do is speak to the person and let them know you need to leave the grounds. If not, then somebody can be dispatched. So with technology, you can do different things to really curb that. The lights, I don't know about. But I know that after hours, that's the real concern, what's happening after hours. The
We
police,
talking about bringing everything in possible.
My thing is, I have one thing to say,
Actually, from
because
that, what y'all
the
talking
thing with the
about.
drug
Hold on, till you get
situation,
recognized. Wait till you get
whatnot.
recognized. Wait till you recognize. Yeah, so you get one person talking.
Oh, wait. No, my thing is with the whole drug situation, that's been going on for countless amounts of years, way before there was a skate park. The skateboarders have nothing to do with it. We don't want that.
right?
Yeah, even before I was born. My brother's older than me. He's by like a good 15, 16 years. We're from here. He knows what goes on over here. That was happening before the skate park. The skate park has nothing to do with the drug activity. That has to do with whoever in the community that doesn't skateboard interacting with the community. That's the people playing basketball. It's the people doing whatever. They play ball and can do their thing.
I think that it's something that we need to deal with, and it's not.
That's a separate aspect. And
I
I fear for the kids that are there because I know how it goes. I've been to skate parks in the North skate park. A 14-year-old kid got stabbed over there because of the people there in the neighborhoods, and there's no cops.
So realistically speaking, that could happen anywhere.
No, yes, that
Like
can,
this.
but that was just a
Hold on
high.
one second, but
That wasn't
the issue.
Because you got these young men at the end, and I just want to hear, because they're sitting here, and I know in the blue shirt, I stopped him, and he was on his way here. Can you tell me how you feel about this skateboard park? And just 1, 2, 3 real quick.
I agree with what he's saying. All of that, with the drugs and all that, that's like a whole different aspect. That has really nothing to do with us. Like, I've been to many different skate parks, and most of the time the people that come to do the drugs and all that, they're not even skating. They're just there to smoke and sell and all that. They have nothing to do with us.
And you live here in Orange.
Yeah, I live in
And where do
Orange.
you go to skate? What skateboard parks do you have to go to now?
There's one in West Orange it's like in a corner behind the fire department. Sometimes I go to Maplewood. Other than that, that's it.
Young man next to him? How do you feel about the skateboard park coming to Orange?
It's a good idea. That's what I think about it. I really like how they're really building like trying to make a new community, make it like more nicer, make Orange like better and stuff. And yeah, I think that's really all I think about it.
And I guess if your friend next to you don't want to talk, you think I was going? You don't want to talk?
Oh no.
You don't want to talk. So this is not important to you?
No, he doesn't skate. He just skates.
Okay, all right. It just, and I just seen the mayor coming behind me. So and you understand that. So Ms. Carroll, so your concerns. And I think the same as Ms. Bozeman was saying that if we're going to do this, to make sure that we have every aspect, to make sure that it's done right.
Like the same thing.
Right.
I'm concerned about them because like I'm living in the same place where she's living.
Right.
So then when everybody comes to the park, you know, if they put it there for the kids to enjoy themselves as young people that they're making a recreation, okay? But we're talking about how are they going to protect us as citizens living there,
Right.
knowing that as they talk about the drugs and the guns and people got killed in there. So I'm very concerned. And during summertime, you know, we're out on the outside because it's just a line, a fence that divides us from that.
Right. So
park,
just don't
right?
put it there and walk away.
So what I'm really saying, I'm asking them what are they gonna do to protect us living here, because I can't tell nobody not to shoot. I can't tell them when to come to the park, when to go out, how loud they should be, or how not loud they should be. I have no control over that. So that is my own concern. That if you're sitting there, somebody might want to throw a rock at you, because there are gonna be various people. I watch it and I saw kids come in and they skate. It really didn't bother me. You know what I'm saying, the truth, because I watched them on the skate and you know, the way how they did
Now you want to
skating
skateboard?
and stuff,
You want to skateboard? That's
So then I'm just saying, like, for summer is coming up, and I know everybody's gonna try to, you know, to just view it and see what it's like. But our main concern is about how, you know, the city of Orange gonna protect us as citizens living there. That's my concern, because they already built.
Okay.
You know?
So I think you didn't walk in with Mayor, Director Mays was saying that it's important that we enforce hours of our park, because, and it's not that it's a private park, it's that there are hours to our park.
Yeah.
And if it's from this hour to this hour, and people in there beyond those hours, we need to enforce it.
I agree. Come on, come in here and say anything.
Hello, good afternoon.
We pointed out quickly, we got the concerned residents right here. They all have raised valid concerns, and what I've said to them is, many of what they raised are the same things that me and you raised when we've been out there talking about the height of the fence, the security, the ability for them not to be able to see in, the exits and entrances, how people will be able to exit it and enter. Talk about various fence heights. Make a long story short, most of or everything that we talked about is not set in stone, and those are things that we are all working on, and that's why we having this meeting tonight. We got the young kids over here that's skateboarding, and they talked about their experience. We got the police, we got Warren, who talked about his experience. So it's been a pretty good meeting so far, and jump in here and say something.
My concern, if your concern, when I went out there, the fence was naturally low already, and I was asking, we can't have that. I wanted to have some kind of separation. So my concern is your concern, but what I want I want to have two separate in the neighborhood meetings. One with the engineers, because as they get close to completion, I want us to walk it and feel it and say we should change this, we should change that as it's live. To see it on the paper sounds good to us. To be out there is a different thing when you live there and you can actually point out things that can change. So we're going to have an in-neighborhood engineering meeting. And then I've directed the police department to give us a policing plan. When are you going to do the drive arounds? When the park closes? What are we going to do? Public Works. What is going to be your cleanup? Because this park is going to have special attention because of special events. I think the skating park, personally, and you guys are much younger than me, as a 53-year-old, the skate park and all of those things seem to me to be revolutionary dangerous. To me, but I saw them skating on it, they didn't think about the loops, and to me it looks crazy. But I think we need a special law enforcement plan, a special cleaning plan in the beginning, a special engineering effort that we should have a lot of input in. So this is not going to be the last that they see of you and the last input we get. So I think things are going to change. It's an attractive place to be. It's going to attract people who aren't in our neighborhoods. And it's going to require our police to be more vigilant about getting people to move along, apartments closed, and keeping our area as quiet as possible. It's not going to be the same place. It's not going to be the same neighborhood. It's going to be different people coming through. It's going to be a different kind of activity. But it's going to be a lot less of a negative activity, I would say, and more positive activity. I know most of the people who have input, most of the kids who have input in it. We met on the street. Came by and we saw something and they screamed, "Mayor, what are you going to do for kids?" I threw them in and said, "What would you like?" And it was organic the way they started giving input on how this park works. So I think we're bringing a good group of people to replace some of the negativity, but I do hear your concerns. I pay $17,000 a year in taxes, so I'm very concerned.
Are you gonna do any improvement for the rest of the park, like give them new slides? You know, just improve.
Yeah, we are. There's a capital improvement plan for the entire park for resurfacing the basketball, the pool. This will be the last season of the old pool. Then we'll go and start with the pool over again. I want to take out the field houses there right now. But they can do the cost benefit analysis on that. So it'll be a different.
You know, like a hill right there.
Point it out because I'm going to need to have input on how we re-landscape and redo it.
But he knows, and you know, we keep on going over the same thing over and over again. It just
What same thing?
because since they put that mountain in front of me, it's
Where they're doing the
ridiculous.
construction, the dirt.
Yeah, it's
They're going to finish it. They're going to move the dirt.
what are they
It
gonna
won't
do
be
with
there
it?
with the park.
What they gonna do with it?
It won't be in your neighborhood. It'll be gone.
Mayor Warren,
Yeah, but the dirt is not a building. It's not going to be part of the
Our
construction.
construction season for the phase one was abruptly, due to weather, had to stop. And then when the ground
Earth
freezes.
movers,
Yes.
those are going to go. All the temporary fencing is going to go. It's all going to be new permits.
And they're coming back with all those machines, so the house
Yes.
will just finish sink, right?
They will have
Because
one.
the floor is broken right now.
What floor?
My floor.
This. Why?
Because it was structurally, it was a lot. When they were digging that bowl, if my parents hadn't shored their house up this summer in their basement structurally, we would have had problems because we have problems with trucks going by on Center Street, and so that's why we did it. And the whole house was literally shaking. If she says she has cracks in her subfloor, I believe her because it was a mess.
We have
I come up there and I told you about it. Remember, we spoke about it several times. The floor is broken.
If your floor is broken, miss, I need to come and see it.
Well, you need to come and see it.
Okay.
I told you that it's broken because they dropped these machines down with everything.
It was a lot.
Okay.
With everything. And when I call over Orange Police and say, you need to come, it's 911. They're like, no, it's not an emergency. I said, of course it's an emergency. Why don't you come and see how the floor is broken?
I will come and see.
Whenever you
Yeah, I spoke to him.
I spoke to you. I have all your cards. I
got it?
have everything.
Okay.
But we have,
Yes.
So what is it?
and do we know when you're home? Do we know when you're home?
I'll be home. Okay. I'll be home early tomorrow evening. But we go through this. It's like
I'll check it out.
I don't know.
I'll check it out.
Tuesdays are good for you?
She said tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
No, but is it good the engineer? I don't want just Marty to go and visit. I want the engineer to go who can talk about what kind of structure.
The best day for that would be Tuesday.
Are you on Tuesday?
Okay.
Next Tuesday.
Okay. I'll be there
Scheduled for
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
The fact
Tuesday, I
is-
want to bring the engineer.
What
the
time?
fact is that they're not listening. When all these machines, nobody's not living there. I'm the one that lives there. I'm on the ground floor.
What time Tuesday?
First like I leave work like 3. So you know we just right here beside
Okay,
us.
I'll 3:30. Be about 4.
Around 4.
Okay.
Bring the engineer at 4 o'clock. I want to know about it.
Okay.
One of the biggest concerns for Andrews County was bathrooms. Bathrooms at
We're going with the old bathroom that's there, the field house. We just fixed the lines. It's operable.
so access even when personnel are not there, that they will not want, they will not, but you know, more so that they will have access
to the park.
for the hours of the park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Why you can't just post somebody at the park? Like make it like like recreations have like a recreation director that you know that's in charge to be there with the kids during the hours. The kids off for the summer or out here and during the hours.
For the summer, for the summer,
Just have
that'll
somebody
be.
that's posted
That's
there
gonna be a
that's in
site.
charge of the park, like that's part of the recreation or like you know how you do it, how you have a camp. Because when I went to camp, you have a director. You got somebody there, or you got camp counselors or something like that. That's a good job for somebody.
There will be people there working there.
Got
There'll be
volunteer,
activities.
or
It'll be, I think breakfast. Is it breakfast? Breakfast and lunch will be served.
Well, you get the churches involved.
It would be a good idea to have someone who's in the community that skateboards, because someone who doesn't understand what goes on, because what you guys have to understand is it's not like it's a group of 8-year-olds to 14-year-olds that skateboard. It's a group of 14-year-olds to like 50-year-olds. You implement a bowl, you're going to get the older crowd to come by. I'm 25. The people who are like talented skateboarding are usually the ages of 16 to like 27. You're going to be getting an older crowd who's going to be implementing watching. So someone who's in the community, who knows what's going on, knows the locals, should be there watching and monitoring the park, opposed to, because I already know law enforcement. I'm pretty sure you patrol the park.
Yes.
Yeah, you probably saw me yesterday. I was there the whole time. I saw you watching. I know what goes on, but I watch out for the kids. Like kids throw cans, I go, whoa, what are you doing? You can't throw that there. No cans. I don't want bottles there. Nothing, because I want to watch out for the park. You guys built it for us. I want to make sure that we can maintain it and make sure that it's okay. There's graffiti on the ramp already. My roommate, I live in North. My roommate and I, we skate for a local skate shop. We already thought about getting our own paint and cleaning the graffiti ourselves because we don't want that there. Because we don't want the city of Orange to think that, oh, we're just a bunch of, vagrants doing, bullcrap. We want to make sure that we keep it tidy. We want to make sure everything's on point. That's what I want to see.
Did you announce?
We have applications.
Orange residents, park counselors participate in that park and other parks. Applications are out now. Yes, sir.
I just want to say this. I feel like, it's only fair for the skate park to be the one because I feel like it's not this many stipulations with, it's already a basketball court there, correct? I don't see people there saying for a basketball court, oh, you need somebody to observe the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? Or for football, because these are regular sports. We all watch football, we all watch basketball on TV. So when you think of sports like that, it's never thought of, let's not build this, let's not do that. But when it comes to skating, for some reason, we're kind of skeptical of, it's a sport in its own, but it may not be the main sport that we're all similar to. So I feel like too, you want them to give them freedom. It's not a prison, it's not a jail, so to have
You get skaters, you get all walks of life. People with suit and ties.
You know, people
People
skate to
with
work.
dreads
You go
and
to New York, you
tattoos,
see
so-
guys on skateboards.
You know what I mean?
with
It's
suit
not
and
like
tie.
you get one demographic of people to say that, you know, it's going to be a bunch of hoodlums at the skate park or they're going to be loud.
I don't
Anything
think
kind
I
of
don't think
happen
the
at the skate
concern
park.
is a bunch of hoodlums. If I was there building a Tiddlywink park for kids, they would be saying we have these concerns because we're homeowners. So they want a separation between this activity site and protection of their peace as homeowners. And I think we can achieve a balance of both, but I don't want you to think that they're saying because you're skateboarders and you wear hoodies and you wear your pants sagging that there's something wrong with you. They're saying no matter what it is, if it's all guys in suits there, we want to maintain the peaceable neighborhood.
Somebody did mention something similar to that because we skateboard and, you know, we need to wear bulletproof vests because somebody's going to get shot in the park. People get shot now at all parks, you know what I mean? It's nothing different from what's going to be going on.
In urban areas, gangster kind of people, they actually appreciate us coming through. They go, yo, Tony Hawk, do a kickflip. And then we do a kickflip, and they're like, I like that guy. Let's just not bother that
But
kid.
I don't want to get confused on their perceptions of what was going to be there. If it was going to be a park for senior citizens, bowling, we want a separation of our peaceful neighborhood from this activity space.
But I mean,
and that's our concern. That's what we're going to build.
I think what is happening is I was speaking to the reality of living on Snyder Street periodically, intermittently. I grew up there. I went to Central Elementary School. I went to St. Venantius. So I feel like I know what happens there. These young men, some have said they have also grown up there. But I've been in Orange for probably 40 summers out of my 50-year life. And I can tell you, every summer there is a problem with some aspect of bad acting. I'm not talking about skateboarders. I wish my 23-year-old son was here because he is a skateboarder. And what I'm trying to say is that we really have to get a handle on what activities are happening in our neighborhood. If it's skateboarding, fine. I'm cool with skateboarding. But I also live on Snyder Street. My backyard is going to be right there on Snyder Street. I have enough space for a jacuzzi, but will I be able to put a jacuzzi on my deck without having to see people skateboarding? Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think that's fair. Because, like you said, we pay taxes. My parents have lived there for 50 years, so, you know, not the mortgage issue, but you still pay to live. They have invested in Orange, New Jersey. Do you see what I'm saying? They have invested. And this, my mother retired after working as a public servant. She should be able to go in a jacuzzi. She should be able to not feel like all eyes are on me, no matter whose eyes there are.
So do you like better having like the privacy fence and they're not being able to see you and you really don't want to see what they're doing? Is that what you're saying?
I think a privacy fence is a good idea, but then also because I am invested in Orange as much as my parents, I really think that we need to sit down and think about what's going to be happening in this park, because it was always a concern. It was a concern before they said the skate park, and like the young man said, the basketball courts, we do complain about the basketball courts. Like I said, I have a 14-year-old who is 6'2". I have to take him to another community to play basketball because I know 3 weeks ago people were shooting there. Do you see what I'm saying? Those are my concerns.
And so let's be clear, the mayor said that the issue is not whether the seniors bowling or me skateboarding tomorrow. That's not the issue. The issue is that we are bringing all our components, and Sergeant Jacobs came in to say, you know, what the police will be doing and so on and so forth, to make sure that the cameras are there, that the public safety, our physical police are walking through the park, and that, and even you guys policing yourself, saying, hey, this is not what we're doing here, and all of it coming together, and us not just talking about it here tonight, us putting it into action. Right.
And you raised an excellent point. I just want to say, because I don't want to make this the skaters against somebody else. No, but hold on. So your point is well taken, because really what everybody here is saying, they want a better park. That's what everybody's saying.
No, I understand it completely. I understand that, because I know that
Wait
there's a
before you
lot of
start,
doors.
because he was just holding his hand
So
on
yeah,
so
like
long.
she just proved my point exactly. Because regardless whether they did not make the skate park, you still have to watch people play basketball or do everything else. So my point is it fair to say that now, oh, I don't want to also I don't want a skate park. The park is already there. So regardless, when you have to go outside, you have to see something. So I think the best part would be just for the fence. I mean, because it's not like you're gonna take the park away. You know what I'm saying? The park is already there and set in stone. So just adding, you know what I'm saying? Just adding the skate park. Is it fair to say, well, look, I already got to go outside and watch this. I don't want to also go outside and watch skaters too. You know what I mean?
But that's not what she's saying. We're bringing something new there, and as a homeowner, it was her house, and he's saying, how can we do this so it's a win-win
But you're
situation?
bringing something new to the park. The park is already there.
No, got you. And it's
So
new.
my point is, she's
Right.
saying she can't set up a jacuzzi.
So
because
it's just
she's
how
already
can it
new.
be a win-win situation? That's all.
Right.
It's not. Yeah, that's
Right.
all. But the young man is standing up in the back. You right here. Then you brought all of the skate parts, and I think the skateboard store owner, the positive parts of it, about what's going on. You know, you said you've done Elizabeth, and you went through this type of meeting, and can you kind of tell us the positive that came out of it?
Yeah, the community comes together, the skaters love the parks, and they all hang out. It's exactly what he's saying. It's a community, they're a very tight-knit group of kids. And, excuse me, in the past they got this bad rap of being these punks and hoodlums, but they're not. They're really cool kids. They look out after their own. They're proud of their communities. They're proud of their parks, and they like to go to other parks and check out all different neighborhoods. So it's a great community. I think the skateboard parks are really good for the community. Again, it gets the kids out of the streets. It gives them a safe place to go skate. And it builds unity amongst the group.
We're gonna have more discussion about make sure the Snyder Street are more, is conducive. And I think Dr. Reservation said we're looking at different things there. The high fence and it's North Day as well, which you know how it's going to affect.
Everything that happened over that park affect my house. Everything. There is nothing that goes on over there that don't affect my house. Everything that goes on over there affects me. Everything. There is nothing bypassing. Everything.
In this area where she is concerned, pretty much the excavation is done. So that's gonna be so basically now it's putting back in stone and pavement, which should be about probably 2 days worth of work. That's not gonna happen. Two, 3 months right though. But in that, is there gonna be a lot more construction activity in this area?
The parking lot side?
Yeah, like this is already built, so this section is pretty much done. We're gonna be moving this dirt away from behind
What
the
I
house.
want you all to do, when it started, you come in my house and I go to your house, and then you can tell me, we can have a meeting afterwards, you know? Just let's have a meeting afterwards.
True reality is it's a real majority of the work in this area.
What is the projected?
We talking anywhere between 60 to 90 days.
That's for the completion all the way through?
Yeah.
That's the goal.
So is
We
it
do
gonna
have
be
some
open?
permits that we have to apply.
Is it gonna be open now and then like the bowl will be covered up, or no? Because I know before y'all was saying y'all was gonna do it in 2 phases.
You are doing 2 phases. The first phase was the middle part that is done. The final phase would be everything else. I know what question you're asking. You have to talk about that. How we going to do that in terms of letting
I
people
have
skate?
a valid point because it's not just everyone in Essex County that's going to come over here, even though it's not open. Yesterday there was kids from Hillsborough, that's Central Jersey. There's kids from South Jersey coming up to skate here. Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that we're right. I'm just saying the regulation on finding with a cop patrolling because I get kicked out. All right, I know the park is open.
Convince the people in your community.
It's not my community.
Trespass.
No, you have to understand, ma'am, it's that I'm in North, okay? I can't control someone from Brick, New Jersey coming up here that I don't know, who heard about it on social media going, there's a new park. I'm gonna pull up that I never met. That's what I'm saying.
What he's saying is correct. But your concern is something we need to address. Like, I'm gonna go back with police, public works. We're gonna address that particular issue. Because I know they come, but they can come here, they should be getting arrested, they should be getting turned away if they come to a park that's not happening. It kills us for liability, it's not something that we're set up for at this time, so that's something that we're gonna stop.
You know, like security, that you can just, instead of using the police, which do a good job, I'm saying they have better stuff to do. I said, why don't you just have somebody from recreation,
You're not living there.
Maybe I'm just maybe I'm just
They gotta get the best serious.
But I think Mayor wants to get point for the skateboarders, to your point. Now, this is a good time when you guys can be policing yourself. So if people are coming and it's not yet open, we know everybody's excited, but it's not even safe for people to do it when it's not open. So that would be
Because
great.
I'm not gonna say I'm a good role model. I go there, it's not open, because I want to skate it.
Right.
But like, I understand the repercussions of what I'm doing, and I can get in trouble. I understand that. But I understand that though.
No,
I
we're
can't
serious.
control anyone else.
It's gonna be serious. Let the word go out, it's gonna be serious about the crackdown in trespassing.
Okay, because that's what I want to know, because I don't want any of my peers getting in
I
trouble.
want
This is something stupid.
you know I'm right there, right? They come over the fence, they jump over the skateboard. I don't have a problem with that, but they don't leave at a certain time. They don't leave at a certain time. They don't leave at a certain time. Home in this skateboard. When I get home, I need to rest. I have to get up and go to work in the morning. They jump over their skateboard and they were there for hours and hours and hours, going. As soon as the police show up, it's like they disappear. And as soon as the police gone, they return. And they start all over and over again. I'm living right in it.
I live with my sister.
I went to residence at every tip line. Yeah.
But I also have a question on the skate park. Is it
No,
just for skateboarding, or can you rollerblade, can you use those?
Go ahead.
Can you roll, is it just for skateboarding or can you do roller skating or?
Rollerblading and the scoot, and the little.
That's up to the city. The skate parks are primarily designed for any wheeled sport.
Uh-oh, say that.
I didn't hear you, sorry.
I said, that's up to the city. Skate parks are generally designed for any wheeled sport. You can ride bikes in there, you can do scooters in there, you can do
Everything.
everything.
It's not just limited to skateboarders. You have rollerbladers.
Okay, that's what I wanted to say.
But that part we're gonna get your input on when we do the ordinance, because we'll govern the use.
But if the park is not open, so why everybody's there?
Well,
That's what I don't get.
you wanna get us 3 opinions?
I have the tip
Then what
number.
you do, tip line.
The tip line number is 973.
They're gonna start to take special emphasis on this part.
I wish I had the card, man. The tip line is 973-666-0097. And when you call, you can stay anonymous. All right. Once again, it's 973-666-0097.
666
0097.
0097.
And the regular police line number is 973-266-4111. Okay? That'll bring you right to communications. Once again, you can stay anonymous.
Now, when you do the tip line, make sure you say skate park complaint. I'm going to have to do a special emphasis on making sure that during the period of instruction.
So even if you see Mayor Warren in there skateboarding right now.
Call the ambulance. Have you guys walked it at all?
I've
Just
been
saying.
along the side, but.
It's crazy. It's tough to even walk it. But when you see them skating, I was there with the trespassers when they're getting them out. Just show me how you go over the ramp. It's effortless. All right, we see you Tuesday. No, Tuesday, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
4 o'clock, we'll be down here.
That's the whole point of a park. If you don't build a park, kids are going to skate the private property. That's how it goes. So we're not going to stop. It's a better idea to have a park. So you're not.
I'm glad we met because it reinforces some things that we need to do. And and wants us to continue the input. Now, we're gonna do the engineering meeting with residents as they get closer. Because I want you to do, it's just like when you go to a new house and you have little checklist, things you have to do. We need to start to look at that and be very critical. If there are notes that you see of things propped down, write them down so we can address those when we do it. Those are gonna be critical in terms of homeowner safety, homeowner safety.
And we're standing in the new store, owner store for new skateboard. He's relocating over here. The skate store is relocated here.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were at where?
15 South Essex.
And that was a Chronicle building?
Yeah.
And now you're here. What's this all about, this store?
It's pretty much just gonna be the new skate shop.
You sell skateboards?
Oh.
Yeah, we
Never see someone without
I want to
flag.
point out your supplier so you know who's the supplier.
Pretty much, we sell skateboards, scooters, bikes. We also have our own brand, which is called Driven. That's the name of the shop. We actually,
And can you walk us through just, because I was devastated at the price. I thought you were just going to the skateboard store to get a skateboard, $20 and start skating. But I'm told that there's a board, the wheels are different.
The board, the wheels, the trucks, we gotta get the bearings. The board could go from anywhere between 75 to like 350, just depending on what kind of board.
That's just the board?
No, that's the board, the complete, the board, the wheels, the trucks. But sometimes you get a board, like I got a board, I don't know if it's in here. I have a Yankees board, it's $190 just for the board by itself.
For a piece of wood?
Yes, it's not, it's the board, yeah.
Oh, he ain't gonna.
Yeah, he got it. But, you know, so the difference in the prices just depends on the wood, the trucks, like what they're made out of. Yeah, like you get different. It's kind of like car tires. How you have different tires for different weather. It's kind of the same thing. Depending on the wheels, they ride better, they're smoother. You get better bearings. It's kind of like having a better brake wheel. You know, you gotta stop and go. Things like that. Honestly, if you guys just think about it as like
I'm happy with you because I'm happy because you're gonna be benefit from my sadness.
Well, hold on. Let me tell you.
Pretty much now.
He's gonna benefit from my sadness.
I don't know about to make you happy, but I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm happy like you.
Can I? Yeah. I feel like it's gonna help the community. It's gonna help the kids. It's gonna keep the kids off the corners. It's gonna keep the kids off the corners. Maybe, like the young lady was saying, somebody was just shooting in the park. Hopefully, we get them on the skateboard and they're not shooting no more. It's possible. It's possible.
I have a few kids that have been a gangbanger and they start skating.
The thing is, we have to do everything that we know positive.
Mayor, I think you have programs and things like that.
Yeah. Personally, my store here, this may make you happy. I hope. But the whole point of me actually moving from there, which was on South Essex, to here, first of all, my rent is 10 times higher now, so that didn't help me at all. But you know, we looking to mentor the kids in the neighborhood. That's really the whole point of me coming here, even allowing you guys, not you, but the mayor, to have, you know, your event here today, because I want to get the kids off the streets. And honestly, I'm praying. I used to work at the Juvenile Detention Center. That's primarily why I even started this. I was working there. I worked there for like a year and a half. I had kids that was murders, all type of stuff. I'm talking to them. You know, we build a relationship. They come home. They get jobs. They're not selling drugs no more. They finish college. They go to school. I got 10 kids now that I mentor on South Essex. Every one of them, which we have references. You can talk to their parents. They all picked up their grades. They're not gangbanging no more. They're not selling drugs. They help them, and primarily because we brought them into the shop, and they had them. We teach them how to build skateboards. We make our custom clothes here. We start like actually patches. We make the Orange Police Station patches. We make their hats, but we teach the kids how to do that in the community. Even when the skate park opened up, I took a bunch of kids around here, you know, and told them what was going on. Every day I got kids. Now this guy's an adept, but he come there to my store a couple of times like, yo, when y'all opening up, when y'all moving, when the skate park opening. Kids are eager to learn. And I know this may sound bad for y'all, but I'm gonna be honest with you, and I apologize in advance, but it's good for me. I just want to see somebody get off the street. It ain't even about the money, because I got other stores that make more money. You know what I'm
So I
saying?
think what you're saying is that if you had to help a young person, you don't want to be helping them in juvenile detention.
I don't want to help, yeah, straight up. I mean, it's, you know how many kids I see every day that's getting killed, that go to jail, that I personally walk past coming up and down the street to go shopping, they selling drugs, versus now the same kids I got coming in my store, they like, yo bro, can I come in here, can I help you, can I work? I got kids in here, matter of fact, kid right there with the hat on, he worked every day for free. He been working for me for 2 weeks for free. And you ask him, I mean, he called me, he like, yo, he don't have a job, he don't have nothing else to do. I mean, you know, he said, yo, can I come work in there for free? Now, he thought it was gonna be for free, but at the end of the week, I gave him $300 worth of t-shirts. Now he's selling t-shirts, making money for himself. And he actually, now, just for him working for free, I gave him a job. So he's starting working here. My first week open, able to get a job. It may sound like it's going to be a bad thing. Honestly, I hope it's not, and I hope that it's not our fault, to be real. It's public safety. They got to make sure they do their job, which I feel like they are. I'm not from Orange. I'm from North, but I love Orange. I'm going to be honest with you. I love it just because I feel like it's the safest city. I mean, they do their job. I got about 14 tickets right now that I'm going to court for next week. I keep parking in the yellow spot. So, you know what I mean? But no, I just pray it helps.
So we gonna have parking at that street down there. Even Sunday they give people tickets. Oh, I'm so sad. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't. You know what? I saw the police and I would walk up to them and I said, imagine, if you give these people tickets on a Sunday, and a Sunday, you give them tickets on a Sunday, why are you not sleeping? She said, why? One morning was
I'll look
like,
at that. I'll look at the ticket.
6 o'clock.
I'll look at my tickets. Don't forget mine.
And this we give everybody on those streets. And I said, why don't you be sleeping in your bed? You're out here giving the people a ticket. You should be sleeping in your bed. That's not fair.
So, real quick, what's your name?
John.
John, you've already accomplished bringing the community together. We're talking about, came in here for skateboards and we're rectifying ticket problem.
I'm really thankful. I want to thank you again for opening up your store. We thought about the skate park, and we were going to have meetings in public. I wanted the children to be involved, not children, but the young people to be involved. And City Hall is an institutional place they may not necessarily come to. And I asked when he opened up the store, bring people in. We packed the place, we had engineers in there, and that's where it started. And got young people involved in the legislative process. How do we get the ordinance to make this happen? How do we contract with engineers? So they were involved in the process from the very beginning. And I hope to stimulate that kind of growth so we
All right, and we have one more thing to address before I leave. Side of the street, you fix that beautiful. What happened to Bay Street? You've only fixed the girl part. What happened to? I'm breaking my foot. I'm breaking my foot down there, and there is nothing you're doing about it.
No, North Day is going to be paved between.
When?
This summer. The next one.
Hold on, listen.
It's going to be paved all the way down to Park Avenue.
Really? When you got them to do?
That'll happen in the next 30 days.
Really? Well, I'm happy to hear that. And you need to do on that part go down. You can just imagine. We were coming home to the baby the other night, and she went right into that pothole. I was like, my goodness, Carlita, you okay, baby? That's wrong. Yeah, because
There won't be much longer.
oh Lord Jesus. I was just thinking about all kinds of stuff. It's too much.
Can we try to wrap it up so we can get to the food and we
Alright folks, once again, the tip number, For those that didn't get the tip number for the police department, it's 973-666-0097. 973-666-0097.
Thank you all for coming. We do have food. Tuesday we're coming, but I'm also going to come to check the park situation. I want to see what it is. And Marty and I are going to walk when we get to the baby park. We're going to walk to
In the city of Orange Township, Main Street, at Driven. Skateboarding is what we do. Open up a new skateboard park right here in Orange at Colgate Park. I have two gentlemen. They're taking their time to make sure we get it right. Sir, what's your name?
My name's Samad.
What do you do, Samad?
I'm an event director at Driven Skate Shop, also an employee.
Driven Skate Shop right here, Main Street. Yes, sir.
My name is Aaron Wade.
Aaron, what do you do here?
I'm also an employee. My older brother runs the shop, so I'm also the runner. If you need anything, holla at me.
I want to talk to the big brother. We also have on the scene one of our premier skaters, Councilwoman Donna Williams is on the scene. Donna, you've been in this community for a long time. We're now looking at the Colgate Park to build a skate park. It's there. It's ready to go. What does this mean? Why is it so long coming?
I think that I know when I had seen a Tony Hawk grant a long time ago, I was like, we need to get this done. So whether it's a long time coming, it's here now. We're going to talk about it, and I know that we just have to do it right, and we need to make sure that some of the concerns are addressed, and that and if we ensure that it's going to be a great facility and that everything is working the way it should be, I think it's going to be one of the great places to come in New York. And as a matter of fact, I was doing Facebook Live, and somebody's like, about time. I had to go to New York City to go to a skateboard.
Once again, the word is out. It's about time. It's come here. But we had a meeting here right in Driven, the skate park, the skateboard store for the region. All of our residents came out to give their concerns about how we make it adequate, how we make it safe, and a place we can also maintain the privacy of our homes. So we got their input. But one of the drivers, and you see why we have the Driven store, one of the drivers behind this movement has been a young man who thought that he would make an investment right here in Orange, open up a skateboard shop. Shortly after that, he was part of a team who pushed for a grant. We got the grant. Our dollars started flowing, went into the park, did construction. But the key thing is that our community meetings were right here at Driven. Sir, tell us about who you are, where you come from, and why this movement's so important.
My name is Warren Smith. I'm the owner of Driven Skate Shop. The movement is so important to me because I want to help the kids get off the streets. Honestly, skateboarding, it helped them. You know what I mean? Like we started a mentoring program called Driven for the Youth. We bring kids in out the neighborhood and teach them how to design, graphic design, how to design boards, make logos, how to start a business, how to LLC, start a checking account, all type of things. And it's helping the youth. So, I mean, I thank you know, the mayor for even giving us a chance to even be a part of this.
A businessman with a conscience. He likes skateboarding, but he likes children better. Former worker at the Essex County Youth Facility. He spent his time there, saw firsthand what neglect can do to youth. So he came here, engaged them at this store, hired these two young men. Now they're off and on their way. Orange is a place for skateboarding. Come, respect it, leave it peacefully, have fun, and make sure you help us grow. Thank you right here in the city of Orange Township. Driven, the skateboard store. This is the spot.
Driven.